Welcome to Restaurant Influencers presented by Entrepreneur. I am your host, Sean Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production. We are coming to you from the National Restaurant Association show in Chicago. 55,000 restaurant professionals, 2,200 vendors, 12 football fields. We're in the North Hall on top of the entire trade show, probably in the coolest, I think it is the coolest booth.
Thank you.
You guys have won 3 consecutive years coolest booth. Is that what's going down?
We're not going to argue with you.
I'm not arguing.
I'll take that. Yeah.
We are in the speakeasy of Popmenu with Brendan Sweeney and Tony Roy, co-founders of Popmenu. And it wouldn't be a National Restaurant Association show if we didn't talk about the state of the industry, the state of all of the cool digital hospitality tools that you guys are enabling restaurants. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. It's great to see you.
I haven't asked you this question before, but I'm going to start with Tony.
Okay.
Where in the world is your favorite stadium, stage, or venue?
Stadium, stage, or venue? Well, I grew up in Atlanta, and I'm going to go old school Fulton County, which doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
But I had a lot of dollar hot dogs there that
Fulton County.
Fulton County, which they steamrolled for the Olympics.
Was there a brand that was sponsored? It was just
No,
Fulton
it was just
County.
Atlanta, Fulton County.
So
Yeah,
the county.
That was
sponsored
it. It doesn't exist anymore now, but yeah.
How many people were in Fulton County?
I don't know. Well, in the 80s, it was pretty sparse because they were terrible until the 90s. So maybe like 1,000.
1,000? Okay, we're going back to Fulton County. We're going to put 1,000 professionals that are playing the game within the game, and we're going to put on a tech talk like you guys did, standing room only yesterday. You guys put on a tech talk at the show. And this is for the audience. So the reason why we do content, the reason why we do stories is because a lot of restaurants can't come to Chicago. They're too busy running their restaurants. Can you bring us in, give us the TEDx style? What did you guys talk about yesterday?
We talked about AI, how people are leveraging that, how it's benefiting restaurants, why they shouldn't be scared of it, how we as a company are simplifying it for restaurants. And look, as you just said, they're busy. And what happens when you're busy is you don't market yourself. And we know that when you do that, it leads to results. So we're doing anything we can to make it easier. And so our new AI marketing calendar does that. And that's what we were talking about yesterday.
Can you tell me a story? Because
I can tell you a great story.
We're talking about results. I was literally down the bottom of the booth, and we had multiple people come up and said that they were at your talk yesterday.
We signed a few.
And they're like, we want to come and hear about these results that you're talking about.
Well, I'll tell you one, and then Brendan can elaborate. But we did a webinar actually last week. I might have mentioned this the other day. But there's a Jamaican restaurant called Ruby's Jamaican, and it's in Alexandria, Virginia. And they started using our AI marketing calendar, I think, in like February. Historically, they're doing a few $1,000s a month in online ordering. And in the rolling 30 days, they're doing just under $39,000 in online ordering sales. And it was funny because she was on the webinar, and she's like, yeah, my kitchen ran in here the other day and said, hey, what's going on? We're running out of brown stew. I'm like, she goes, yeah, I don't know what's happening. And she's like, oh, well, you guys did a text message and a social post, and it created awareness, and people started buying the brown stew. But I thought that was so perfect because we tell people all the time, look, if you got a high profit item, a signature dish, if you can highlight that on the menu in a way that's unique, visual, feature it, whatever it might be, it drives results. And so it was perfect for her to say it. Because, you know, when you're consulting restaurants, they're always wondering, hey, what's the catch here?
Yeah.
So when they hear it from a peer, it's really powerful. But yeah, that was a good example, I thought.
Do you have any stories for us, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just expand upon that story. Like last year we were here talking about what AI could do. And I think most people are still talking about what AI can do. Now we're talking about what it is doing in real life. And as a product person and as an entrepreneur, as a tech person, I'm just super pumped that it's really working and it really lives up to kind of the vision we have for it. Why did Ruby's explode like that? I mean, you see months and months and months of them going $1,500, $2,000 in online ordering revenue. Then it jumped to $9,500. Then it jumped to $14,000, like month after month. And now it's, like Tony said, $38,000. That is incredible. Those sales followed the generation of impressions. And so the thing we're here talking to people about is, it is about getting in front of your fans and your potential fans as many times as possible and not being afraid, not being shy, not thinking you have to do perfect content. It's just get in front of them. Yeah. It can be a picture of brown stew can make all the difference. As appetizing as that sounds, maybe a picture of it, a social post, whatever makes the difference. And so what we're seeing is AI and the way we've structured it with our unique data that we generate from the consumer experience of Popmenu. It's all coming together to generate a ton of impressions, and the orders just follow. And so it's awesome to see it work. It's awesome to share it with people. We shared a bunch of charts of this and other stories And that's why people came to the booth and said, I'm buying this, because it's like, I think last year there was a lot of, I'm hearing about this. Is it real? Is this a bubble? Is this a fad? Now they're like, I'm hearing about this, and sounds like it'll change my business. One more story is one of the charts we showed in that presentation was someone who did some marketing, and you saw their revenue grow, and then they turned on the AI marketing calendar, and then it really grew, and then there was 1 month where they paused, and for whatever reason they didn't approve all the content we created, and it went from 9,000 to 900. Just like that. And so that's not the case we want to see, but it's a great validation that generating these impressions matters, and you have to keep doing it, and AI just lets you do it consistently.
Well, it's incredible for me. I mean, this is a storytelling podcast. We believe in content. Obviously, we publish across as many channels as possible, but I also own a restaurant, and I know how hard it is to do this kind of work, to run the restaurant, to do the marketing, to do the channels. But to your point, when you automate it with intelligence, and you're actually meeting people where they are, it's top of mind. I mean, it's that easy as like reminding somebody that you exist and that you have brown stew.
There's no catch. I mean, all the time it's like, what's the catch? There is no catch. You just got to do the basics. And I think for a long time, people have made technology scary for restaurants. I mean, most people don't get into restaurants because they love technology and want to write code. They get in there to serve food and serve people, and you just got to do the basics. And so if we can make that easy for them so they don't have to think of always what to do and just basically tee it up for them, it puts them in a better spot to be successful.
So can you bring us to the forest level view? You guys do a lot of data on the industry so that you can learn what's going on with restaurants. What do they care about? What are you seeing in 2024?
I mean, we started to see kind of late last year, competitive pressure seemed to come to a head, and it seems like the industry has gotten to a point where they were able to pass on, and you were able to pass on the ever increasing cost to the consumer, and that's plateaued. It's flattened out. You can't do it anymore. Now you have to find other ways to compete. We did see data, like in November, there was a big spike in restaurants closing, like net restaurant closes versus opens. It was something like 5,000.
Wow.
And that was the biggest spike. That's national. And it was the biggest spike since June 2021.
Wow.
And so you just saw that pressure hit, and that's just representative of how competitive it is now. And we see a real bifurcation in you're winning and you're doing well and you're growing, or you're really, really struggling. And so what we see is the restaurants who are doing the things they need to do to stay in front of consumers are hanging in there, or they're growing.
Yep.
And if you're not doing that, it's getting harder and harder and harder to keep going. And part of me is sad for it, that you can't just have a restaurant just by doing great hospitality anymore. But that's also just life, and that's just the way the economy is now. It's the way life is now. There are too many options out there staying in front of you all the time. I have some favorite locals where I live that I haven't gone to in months. I haven't seen anything. I haven't thought about. I'm not top. They're not top of mind with me. That's just the reality. And I think restaurants are facing that. They're not saying, no, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to engage with tech. I'm not going to engage with marketing. I'm just going to make great food and hope for the best. They know they have to do something. And I think now more and more it's kind of taking shape. They're understanding more of what they need to do. They're leaning more into tech. They're believing more in it. Whereas I feel like it's been a lot of, rushing to try stuff, not necessarily betting it in, not necessarily giving it a chance to help your business. So I think those competitive pressures are stronger than ever. Yeah. And I think they're driving people to just continue this, climb that's been happening since COVID, where it's like, processes have to be professionalized, technology has to be leaned into, otherwise you got no chance.
So Tony, I'm going to ask you, since you run sales and your boots on the ground, explain to me like I'm my son who's turning 6.
Yeah.
What is Popmenu?
Popmenu is an all-in-one platform that puts anything you need or are using today to attract and engage consumers, get guests in the door or in the ordering path, is all in one spot. I always say to a restaurant, you got to remember, do you want to manage 8 or 9 different tools or contractors?
Yeah.
Or do you want to manage one? Do you want to show up high on a Google search result or no? Well, yeah, of course. Do you want economies of scale, or do you want to pay maximum price for each individual solution? So I think that's the way I would describe it is. Really, if I could show you on my phone, I'd pull up a PDF menu and I'd show them that. Then I'd show them one of ours that has beautiful imagery and social validation and say, which one do you think your wife or your boyfriend would choose? Just added, just that alone. Oh, this one, of course. Okay, great. And then you go to the other thing is, but we're all in one platform that puts everything in one spot so that the restaurants can ensure they have the best chance of success, limit the amount of work. Like you said earlier, they don't have time to do it.
Yeah.
So 8 or 9 different tools or contractors are one. Do you want to do a lot of manual work, or do you want a lot of it automated for you? Do you want to show up high on Google or not? That's it.
How do you dig deeper on product? Because it's always trying to, we're here at the show. There's people that come every year and they get bigger. You guys keep growing every year that we come. You keep putting out new stuff. There's other people that are, riding a wave, trying to, come out and sell something, and chances are they might not be here next year. How do you go deeper on the stuff that's already working?
We're fortunate that the 4 of us co-founders, 3 of us have product backgrounds.
I'm product too, though. Let's be honest.
Don't let him throw you under the bus
I bring the layman's perspective,
exactly,
which is very important, by the way. I just want to make sure that's on record.
Somebody has to sell this stuff.
Exactly.
He plays a very
for the record.
he plays a very important role in product by bringing us back the feedback from restaurants all the time and meeting with them over and over.
Yeah.
Frequently asked questions help build better products.
We are so dedicated to client discovery. We have two full-time employees who do nothing but set up client discovery sessions, going through prototypes, going through all kinds of little innovation quizzes, things like that. Because the restaurant not going to be able to tell you the tech they need. They can just tell you the struggles they're having, and then we can figure out what can we help. But this is how we go deeper, is we just listen and we surface opportunities where it's like, this is a struggle point that we're in position to help with. Let's make it happen. And that's how all of our product has happened since the first one. But it's also looking at data. It's also being dispassionate about that. There's a ton of stuff I want to do that I think is really cool. That there's not the data supporting it, and so we're going to do something that's about the client, not about us. But it's also it's in our DNA. Like, we're just product people. The original idea was from being a product person saying, why the hell are we looking at text when we're trying to figure out where to eat? Like, if you went on Amazon and you were going to buy shoes and there was just text, you're not buying anything, right? And so we started with a pretty simple observation as a product person and product team, and we just keep applying that same methodology. And this is the most ripe space in the world for innovation, because there's so much stuff to make better. There's so much stuff that restaurants need help with. It's the busiest job in the world. I think it's the hardest job in the world. You're doing it. You can tell me.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
No, I have
it's
a whole
so
team
broad.
If I didn't have a team back in San Diego running our Cali barbecue restaurants, we couldn't be here with this team putting this kind of content out.
It's so hard, but that also means there's so much opportunity to help.
Yep.
And so one of the things that's interesting about the phase we're in now is we've spent so many years building new stuff.
Yep.
And now we're much more iterating on existing things, connecting the dots a lot more, and really going from V1s to like V5s and V10s that really, really drive value. It's not always sexy to say, I'm just going to update this thing that we already have. But then you see results, kind of like we've shared with you, and you go, that's the right thing to do. That's really helping a business, instead of, creating something that might be, my passion project or something like that. So honestly, it's just listening to the clients and it's listening to the struggles they have and then figuring out how we can help.
Can you talk about trade shows? In real life events, you guys participate, you do events. Why do you do them?
Yeah.
Where do you see it going?
Yeah, we do some more regional, like the Texas Restaurant Association. We do that show every year. That's been great. I think we do it, one, just to learn, right? To meet with as many people, whether it's partners who are also assisting restaurants or clients themselves. It's great for visibility. It's also great for us to just always be aware of what's happening and see what people are excited about. If they're walking around the show and they're like, oh, have you been to so-and-so's booth? That's really cool. And we're like, oh, we haven't heard of that. So, but we do more and more. Just like our webinars, anytime you can have an audience in one spot, it's always been very beneficial for us. If we get an audience of 50 people, 10 people are going to sign up for something because they get an opportunity to interact with us. So I think, we love shows. I would do more of them. I was telling him literally this morning on the way over here, I was like, dude, we got to do more, like rent out a ballroom at a hotel and bring people in and have 50 people and just consult them. Even if they don't use Popmenu, we'll educate them, and I think that ultimately will come back to us. And of course, a lot of them will end up being clients. But I think we're going to get more active,
I love this show. I love these events. I love being around the industry. I love mixing it up. It's hospitality. We're a tech company. We really grew during COVID. I mean, we tripled the business during COVID, like number of employees. I'm so sick of Zoom. I'm so sick of Slack. I'm so sick of technology.
Your eyes hurt.
I'm blind now.
No,
and being with people and mixing it up with partners and with other people in the industry, with client, there's just a level of learning and kind of moving things forward that you can't get when you're, back in the office or back at home, on Slack or on Zoom. So I have last year I felt like it was a big step up from the year before here.
Yeah.
And this year feels like even more.
Yep.
And I think just the discourse and the things people are sharing, when there's so much need to help an industry and there's so much that needs to be done, like this phase we're going through, just this kind of thing has a real multiplying effect, I think, on the learning and the sharing of information.
Yeah, I mean, we believe a rising tide lifts all ships, and we obviously are hoping that more people do online storytelling so that they can learn about all the cool things that are happening, not just in the United States, but all over the globe. The internet connects us in such a way. Can I ask you about one of your partners in particular? Because you talked about events, and because you guys do such a great job on social, I see where you're participating, where you're buying in. Can you talk about Giving Kitchen?
Oh, yeah. I can't talk about Giving Kitchen without getting emotional. So it's real near and dear to me. I mean, we know the founder, Jen, very well. It was based on her husband was in the restaurant industry. She was in the restaurant industry. Unfortunately, he got cancer. Unfortunately, he passed. Before he passed, the entire hospitality industry in Atlanta rallied around him, and they gave him all this money. They just wanted him to have the best chance possible. And unbelievable, he was just like, give this away.
Wow.
Give this away. So they raised like $400,000, and he said, this is not for me. I'm moving on. And that was the start of Giving Kitchen. And so what they do is, when there are food service workers who are unable to work, unable to pay their bills, Giving Kitchen comes in and they take care of them.
It's incredible. And the fact that you guys support Giving Kitchen, you give them the platform, but like that partner ecosystem of understanding, like we're all in this thing together.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. It's really hard to do everything that we do, but for me, seeing you guys as a tech company supporting a nonprofit, sharing their message, giving them the platform, it means a lot, because even me all the way on the West Coast, I see that and I'm like, what can I do for Giving Kitchen?
I love that. You always have to bring higher purpose into your business, into what you're doing. You have to attach your daily grind. Yep. That's not always fun. And all the challenges you go through, you have to attach it to a bigger purpose. And just helping restaurants with tech and marketing and growing and things like that, helping them spend less time, helping them grow their business, that's plenty. But when you can tie it to, hey, we also help support this whole community, and when there are people who are down, they get lifted up, that's awesome.
Talk to me about 2024 and beyond. What does it look like for Popmenu? Give me what are the big dreams?
What are your
big
dreams?
Man. I got a lot of dreams. I got a lot of dreams.
You can start. I've been talking a lot.
No, I mean 2024 and beyond. I mean, I think we started this business in the beginning just with the idea of how can we make it better for consumers.
Yeah.
We had underestimated how fragmented it was, how hard it was for restaurants to manage so many different things, not just tech, but labor and laws and just so much stuff. I think for us, it's more like how do we get to more people faster? Yeah, we want to grow the business. Yeah, we want to make money. We want to give a return to our investors. But I think why we've won over the last several years and why we continue to win is that I think we actually care.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people care, but I think we're very genuine in that. He's talking about Giving Kitchen. And I think about just aside from Giving Kitchen, if you help a restaurant be successful, you help people stay employed.
Yeah.
If they stay employed, they get to support their families, their communities, and we've always been big about independent SMB businesses because that's the backbone of communities. And if you don't have that, you see what happens in some markets, right? When that goes away. So I think for us, it's like we continue that mission of knowing who we are and staying focused to our ethos and helping restaurants be successful. And we'll always be the ones trying to simplify technology for restaurateurs because it's not just important, it's critical now. And it's going to be more critical tomorrow and next year. And so the more we can educate people, whether they choose Popmenu or not, I think that's beneficial, and that's what we always strive to do. Our philosophy, and maybe we're idealistic, but we always think that always comes back to us. And ultimately, at the end of the day, nice guys can win. And so I think that's what we focus on. But look, I think we're going to continue to go deeper and wider in our solutions. We're going to continue to consolidate anything a restaurant is investing in or using today. If it's not in the Popmenu platform, 12, 18 months from now, it will be.
Yeah.
It will be. And we're going to continue to have more integrations with more partners so that if a restaurant wants XYZ POS or some other technology, it's our job to make sure that we're compatible with them so the restaurant has choice, and they're the ones driving the decision. I think when we got in this business, our thing was, hey, a lot of third party kind of interjected themselves between the restaurant and the consumer, sometimes unnecessarily. And so I think the more we can make sure that the restaurant has control, the better. And so that's kind of my broad 80,000 foot view.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing for us is, we've been so much about new product and building more and more. And I think we've actually built past kind of the vanguard of the industry to where it's like, oh, now we got to come back and make sure we're connecting with people and they understand it. And one of the things we've always done is we've created all this product and said, we're here to help you, but use it as you like, and do what you want with it. And now we're in position to be way more prescriptive.
I love it.
And say,
prescriptive is great.
You want to be led? We're going to lead you through this.
Right,
We know what should be done. We have 30 million unique visitors a month coming to our platform, in our client websites. We're sending hundreds of millions of emails. We sent 100 million texts last year.
Wow.
We've had over 2 billion plus page views, which is just, those are vanity metrics, but it means we've done it at scale. We've gotten to see a ton of what works and a ton of what doesn't. And we're not going to be shy about sharing that. We're creating a playbook that's not just about the tech, it's about everything else. Like, one of the best things you can do to make your Popmenu or any of your tech that you're using that's guest facing more effective is just ask people if they, be a follower, be a VIP, whatever it is. It's shocking how many restaurants just won't do that. I get it, you don't want to spam or you don't want to seem, pushy or whatever. Man, they like you. They want to hear from you. And they tell us that all the time. Every survey that we do is like that. And so, the playbook will include things like that. Like, hey, have your server ask, and have table cards that get people in. Give them an offer to become part of the CRM. Like, all of these things that we have seen successful restaurants do, we're just going to share it. And we're just going to say, this is what you should do. And if you don't do it, you're not going to grow like you need to. And if you don't grow, you're going to be in trouble in this competitive market. So I think what you can see from us is not so much flashy new product stuff, but like, how do we bed that in and how do we make sure it's a part of restaurants' lives and helping them grow and helping them be better businesses and being more demonstrative and prescriptive about it, because we do know what works. Like, we've seen it. We've shown you charts. So you can see, when you follow these certain steps, it just works. And so I think, you'll hear a lot of that from us, and that's a lot about what 2024 is for us.
So you guys have built an AI calendar. Can you share with our audience what that is?
First off, it's a calendar that we pre-populated an entire month's worth of activity, 13, 14 social posts, 4 or 5 emails, 3 or 4 text messages. We pre-populate based on activity and things that are happening in their business on their site. We send it to them 10 days in advance of the following month. So on May 1st, you get the calendar 10 days in advance of that. It turns them into editor-in-chief. They don't have to think of everything from scratch. They simply look at what we've created. They hit the approve button. If they want to go edit, that they can. It gives them takes them 98% of the way there. And what we've seen is that the generated content is actually outperforming as a whole better than manually created content. So it's faster, cheaper, and it's effective. So yeah. Yeah,
and it's great that this is, we were already doing AI. We've had AI phone answering for years. So we were really well positioned when generative tools like ChatGPT showed up to just work them in. So we instantly made social posts enabled with ChatGPT, which made it super easy for people to get the word out about a dish or an event or an offer or what have you. But what's really cool about the marketing calendar, the AI marketing calendar, is we have all of this unique data that comes from how the consumer experience is structured with Popmenu. So as people interact with dishes, as they leave reviews, as they share things, as they order things, we're storing all that in a profile.
That's awesome.
And so we have this really unique data set to bounce off of ChatGPT. So when we create this, month's worth of content that Tony talked about, it's not generic. It's tailored to the person.
Right.
And we're still very early in that. But what we see is like every step of personalization just creates so much more responsiveness to it, engagement, open rates, click-through rates. And we just have so far to go.
Yep.
And so, we're working towards a world where we're actually able to take these 10, 12, 15 data points we have on any guest and make every single email that's sent to them different and kind of bespoke to them. And so it's great that even before we've fully realized that kind of personalization, the results are through the roof and clients are loving it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we believe in smartphone storytelling. We believe that if a restaurant business can become a media business, anybody that's listening to this can. We believe that Popmenu is a media business, but we'll talk about that offline. We'll talk about your guys' show. I've never done this before on the show, but it's National Restaurant Association show, so we're going to do it. This is our rapid fire questions. Usually I'm asking the guests themselves about their personal tech stack, but now I'm going to ask you about his personal tech stack and then you about his. So
man.
Tony, you're up first. I need to know, does Brendan use an Android or an iPhone?
Android, of course. My goodness.
Android. Okay.
Yeah.
What version or what phone does he use?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
8
it always
Pro.
updated? Is it always, does he always
yes,
get the newest?
Yes.
Newest and greatest?
He does, yes.
How many emails does he get a day?
Oh, I would guess he gets over 100 a day.
How many does he enjoy reading?
Probably 3.
What is the most used apps on his phone?
Spotify, maybe?
Don't look at him.
I'm trying
I need-
to. What is most used apps on his phone?
Most used apps every single day.
Something
His personal
foodie.
tech stack.
Something foodie. I use
Email, obviously.
Email, obviously. Slack.
Slack. Internal communications.
Some music and some food.
Some music. You
Yes.
don't know if it's Spotify.
I don't know if it's Spotify.
Okay. And which map does he use?
Google.
Oh,
Google
yeah.
Map?
Yeah.
Without a doubt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brendan?
Yeah.
He's going to tell you my wife's the tech one in our relationship.
iPhone or Android?
This guy's iPhone.
Okay. And
He's also
what
got
version?
a Surface tablet that we've replaced at least 9 times. It's something wrong with the computer.
How many
It's not
emails?
him.
How many emails does he get a day?
Tony will pick up the phone more than anybody else, so I bet he gets less than me. I'm sure he also gets as much spam as I get.
How many does
I'd
he
say
enjoy?
50.
How many does he enjoy reading?
None of them.
Does he ever forward you any good emails?
Yes.
He does.
Yes, and he'll say boom,
He'll say boom.
boom,
That's true.
or he'll say
does
that's
he
tasty.
prefer a phone call or a text?
Oh my God,
Without a doubt.
phone call. I cannot stand calling people when there's other people around me. We're walking through this thing yesterday,
He's a natural
and
salesman.
He's like Siri.
On speaker?
Yeah, he's like Siri, call Mike. Hey, where's that pizza vendor that you told us about? Like in the middle of everything. I don't do that. He calls all the time.
How's his notification management?
Oh.
Like how many notifications have we pulled out his phone right now?
Oh, shitload.
Like
Wow.
all the
Oh,
apps,
yeah,
they
yeah.
all are notified.
Oh, they all are just like flashing. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
which
yeah.
social media platform does he secretly use?
Uh,
Does he secretly stalk
he
that he's not
admits-
posting
he
content?
admits to none.
He admits to
admits
none, but you
none.
know, you're good enough to know what he's looking at.
Oh, he
I-
know. Social
he,
media?
he uses Twitter. You know what he does? He'll watch like a Miami game, or he'll watch some show and
That's
he'll get
right.
fired up and he'll tweet something and he'll delete it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's how he uses
My
social
wife, my
media.
wife's enough Instagram for like the whole
For everybody?
NRA show. I'm like, he's like, hey, how was that dinner last time? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So he knows what
Oh,
I'm
his
doing.
his
There
wife
you
puts
go.
it.
Yeah,
She shared a picture of us from the Tech Talk yesterday. He was like, "Is that my wife? Like, was she
Yeah.
there? How did she?"
She knows.
Oh man, she's vegan by the way. In case anyone didn't
Yeah.
know, I tell
Smart-
everybody.
Yeah.
Smartphone storytelling. Well,
Yeah.
we appreciate you guys. If you want to connect with me, it's at Sean P. Walchef. How's the best way to people keep in touch with you guys?
Get.popmenu.com. Come get a no pressure demo. See all the product that we've built to help your business. We won't be pushy. We want to share it with you. We want to help you grow. We're concerned about your business. We're concerned about your family. And that's one of Tony's sales
Yeah.
lines. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm really worried about you,
Yeah.
and he really is. Get.popmenu.com is the best spot.
Well, we really appreciate it, and thanks to Toast for giving us the opportunity to come to the show, to talk to Popmenu, to find out all the coolest digital hospitality tools that are out here. As always, stay curious, get involved, don't be afraid to ask for help, and reach out anytime. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Restaurant Influencers. If you want to get in touch with me, I am weirdly available at Sean P. Walchef, ShawnPWalchef. Cali Barbecue Media has other shows. You can check out Digital Hospitality. We've been doing that show since 2017. We also just launched a show, season 2, Family Style, on YouTube with Toast. And if you are a restaurant brand or a hospitality brand and you're looking to launch your own show, Cali Barbecue Media can help you. Recently, we just launched Room for Seconds with Greg Majewski. It is an incredible insight into leadership, into hospitality, into enterprise restaurants and franchisee relationships. Take a look at Room for Seconds. And if you're ready to start a show, reach out to us, betheshow.media. We can't wait to work with you.